I want to start this video out by saying I used to watch the dreamsmp and I know how the fans are. You guys are, most of you are not capable of reality. A lot of you are super sheltered and watch these comfort streamers, and you watch them as an escape and you don't realize that they're like real people in the real world outside of this, and you guys only really know them as the content they put out. You don't know them as like actual people. And now that you're seeing like, oh, these are people who can do bad things, I would have never thought this was possible. It's like a wake-up call for you guys. So and I know a lot of you guys are like not used to the real world. This is no way a dig, this is just reality. And if this part, me explaining the intro, is offensive to you, then I think this video is not for you. um like, just personally, the way I speak and the way I am, I know I'm gonna offend some of you, so I'd rather you just not waste your time watching my video. As much as I'd like appreciate the views and likes, this is not what this video is about. You can go watch some of my like more tame and just like funny videos, and this one isn't really for content. I think this is more like a public announcement kind of thing. um so let's get into it. I think it's first thing that I should really say is that YouTubers are people, and people can do bad things. And the person you see on YouTube or like a Twitch stream is more of a character who's edited down, especially on YouTube, who's edited down and only showing the best parts of them. So I don't understand how people are shocked, like, oh my gosh, my comfort streamer did a bad thing and they did like a human, action, a bad human action, obviously. I don't understand how these people are confused by it. There were I've seen some comments on Twitter like, how is Jay Schlatt the least controversial one? And first I want to say this isn't controversial. This is a crime. Sexually assaulting people and grooming people and assaulting people. Those are all like not drama. That's a crime. There's victims. I think that's very important to say first. And I think it's also important to say that like people who seem good and perfect on the internet in no way reflects on who they are as an actual person. Let's just look at Jay Schlatt. People think is controversial because of his like 9/11 jokes. He's a man from New York who puts on a character for views and attention. Like, you can see him in like live streams and like people recording him, and he's like not, you know, in a video necessarily. Like, he's just there with his friends hanging out, and you can see him be like not exactly the same person. That's because every YouTuber, every content creator, as real as they may want to portray themselves, they're never 100%. Just think about yourself personally. Do you act 100% like yourself in front of your friends? Like, you're telling me there's no part of you that you hide from your friends? Like, oh, I like this thing, that's kind of weird, I don't want to tell people about that, so let me hide it. Or, oh, I'm like super into like, I don't know, archaeology, and people might think that's like dumb, so I don't show it. And those are like not bad things, and you're still hiding them. Now think of these like sexual assault and like abuse and like all these things that these Minecraft YouTubers are doing. Of of course those are gonna be as well hidden as they can do. What? Are you joking? Like, some people are confused that like George Not Found drinks alcohol, and I'm like, what? These these people are human beings. They're human adults. Of course they, drink alcohol and have sex. Like, they're humans. You guys have such a big disconnect that you don't realize that these people are humans, and humans can do really good and really horrible, obscene things. Why are you confused about this? I think this is should be a learning moment to show that like all these people you watch online are human beings at the end of the day, and you should treat them that way. you can appreciate their content and be like, oh my gosh, they're so funny. But like all these stans and like diehard, just like super crazy turbo fans of these people need to like, there's, I think they're gross to me. Like, why are you idolizing these people so much? These are human beings, and when you idolize them, you give them like, some people don't deserve power. Obviously, like Dream, people get like a god complex or kind of things where they think that they're like, perfect and amazing. Like Too Mad thought that he was like the best thing to come to YouTube and that everyone should bow down to him and help him and do everything for him. But at the end of the day, they're just people who edit down like hours of footage to find the very small bits and pieces of themselves that are worth watching and that are entertaining and portraying only the best, moments of themselves. So of course they're gonna seem perfect and amazing when they're not. Like I don't understand all these people that are confused by it. And of course, looking at it, I'm like, okay, well, look at their fan bases. Minecraft YouTubers, they're playing Minecraft, which is a predominantly, you know, young demographic, and their fans are all like, 14-year-old like white girls or like confused and like still finding themselves like, LGBT people. And that's why you'll see like, oh, Quackity supports the LGBT community. It's like, well, yeah, because that's like who's going for them. They're like, they're their comfort streamers because they're like pretend and they're playing make believe and it's an escape from reality, and I get that. But you know, as I've said so many times before, there's still people and they can still do actions that people do. I think it's very, very, very important that from like this moment forward, that we remember that people are people and people do bad things. There's, and I feel like it's very predominant in not specifically the Minecraft community, like Minecraft content creator community, but it is the most like prevalent community right now. But I feel like any adult who makes very childish content and like interacts with their fans on a personal level, there's like a 99% chance of it to be negative in the end. I feel like there's like amazing people out there who, like, personally I really really liked Technoblade. Um and he was an amazing guy. And I feel like there's only two paths with Minecraft YouTubers. You can either be like Technoblade, and hopefully Phil's is a good person. Which these people just seem like genuinely good people who are just making content. And then there's like the bad people like Wilbur Soot and George Not Found in like Dream. And I think a very important thing is to look at them. Like, some people are like, d- like they pretend so much and they lean into this so much of their fan base and like, oh yeah, I'm so cool and cute, haha, lol. I'm such a look, I'm Goggy. I'm such a cute little baby, lol. And then there's like Technoblade, who's like, blood for the blood god. Yeah, let me make cool videos and like be good at a game. Hey fans, you guys are cool. Like, they're just chill dudes making content, being themselves. And then there's these people that are putting up a front and pretending to be something that they're not to lure in, fans. And I feel like it, if you really took a step back and looked at it like, statistically, like no biases, just looked at it and looked at it like they're actual people, this should have been so like obvious from the start. Like, there's, it's like Epstein Island and stuff. Like, everybody knew about it, but it wasn't like out there like legally. Everybody knows, like everybody makes jokes like, oh, they're a Minecraft YouTuber, that makes sense. Oh, watch out, they're a Minecraft YouTuber, they might get you. Like, everybody knows that these like Minecraft YouTubers are doing it. I don't think it's Minecraft itself, obviously, but I feel like when you're like, most of them were probably people who didn't get like very much attention, and then they're cool and like fun for little kids, and then they have all these little kids like looking up to them and like treating them like they're like something amazing, and they're not used to that. The power goes to their head and it like corrupts them. I feel like they go, oh, these kids, they like look up to me and they're so easily convinced. I can make them do whatever they want for me, and then they go and they do these illegal things. Katie, she was like just turned 18 recently of the thing, and she was at a party drinking. Um, and then, she got, that led to everything it led to. And I feel like it's safe to say that these people that, have these like very susceptible and like very vulnerable fan bases because they're children, they're gonna take advantage of that, you know? Like, it's always been a thing, like roadies and stuff with like rock bands and stuff, but at least those were like adult people consenting most of the time. Like, most of the time they're adults. But when your fan base is mostly children, and people get with their fans because of like a power dynamic, that's obviously not good. I'm really rambling at this point, so I'm gonna like try to like swoop back in here. But I think the main thing we should focus on here is the victims and making sure they get the justice they deserve, and we listen to them and take their, word as their word instead of playing a game of telephone with it. I think it's really important that we remember that, you know, a human being is a human being and they can do very terrible things. It doesn't matter if they're like cute, wholesome, small little beings on the internet. Like, if, I don't know, Jack's films, killed 7 people, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. He's a human being. That sucks. I liked the guy. You know, that should be it. I also think it's very important that these people that are like, oh, man, they're my comfort streamer. I watched them for 2 years. I am so sad. I am so sad, guys. What am I gonna do? I'm so sad. I think those people, I think it's very okay for them to mourn. Um, I do understand how, like, you've invested that much time into a person just for you to realize that they're not the person you originally invested your time into or who you thought they were. And I can understand that, but let's keep that to ourselves. Right now, right now and always, we should not overshadow the victims because they're the real victims here. Oh no, this streamer that you watched a lot ended up being a bad person. Boo hoo for you. Like, grow up and deal with it. You're not the victim here. You weren't the one that was assaulted. You're not the one that's gonna have to live with the fact that you were assaulted by someone you trusted and thought were like a good person because of like the way that their fans treat them and like the way that they're portrayed on the internet. You're not the person who went through that. And, I'm sorry to be so blunt with you, but you need to like shut up and sit down. You are not the one who is the victim here. You lost one content creator that you watch. Boohoo. Grow up and deal with it. There's a whole site full of people making content. I think what we really need to do is focus on the victims because they're the victims here. I'm so tired of seeing like all these comments on Twitter making it about themselves. I think you are very, very disgusting. And in a way, I feel like you're hurting the victims by trying to take like the attention off of them and putting it onto you. Let's focus on helping the people who are actually, directly affected by this instead of somebody who doesn't have, a weekly, video to watch from their favorite from their favorite YouTuber anymore. Let's focus on Katie, who was drunk and just recently became an adult and it was taken advantage of. Let's focus on Shelby, who was, being abused and wasn't being helped when people saw signs of it. You know, let's focus on the victims and not forget that they're the reason that we should be here and we should be upset. Let's hate the abusers and make them face their consequences so they don't abuse anybody else. And let's use this as a learning moment to, in the future, be able to see, signs and not make more or support or allow more abusers to exist in the future. This is a longer video, and I don't think I'm really gonna edit it. Really, I think you should really just take this from me, unedited, just raw. You can hear my voice changing. Like I can feel it right now, just talking right now. Um, I want to be real with you guys. We need to start treating people like they're people, or else we're gonna, unintentionally platform and allow more abuse in the future. I've known people and I've like supported people who are victims of this, and it is a terrible, terrible thing. And it makes me, really, really angry to the point where I want to do terrible things to those terrible people. But that's not like the right way to go about this. I think we really need to just, you know, be able to stop future abuse and take care and like support the people who sadly had to go through this abuse, and support these victims, and not allow and not platform and not give people a chance to hurt more in the future. Let's use this as a way to change the way we view people and change the way that we support people. It makes me so, so upset the way that people who aren't even the victims are like trying to take the spotlight and make this about them. It's not about you. And frankly, I think anybody who's trying to make this about them and using this for their own, personal gain of like views and likes and not actually caring about the victims, I think you're just as bad as the abuser. You're just as bad as the abuser. Not exactly just as bad, but you're on their team right now, really. You're standing on their side of the line, trying to get sympathy points, and trying to like gain a standing from this. And I think you're just a disgusting, disgusting human being. You know, I think we really need to focus on the victims because they're the victims here. That's it. Yeah, no, I'm done. That's it for this video.